We're at the point with AI now where it is solving problems, it is moving faster, and it's cheaper. Before it was like, pay this fee, pay all this money, but now it's like, no, this is an add-on service, 99 bucks, or it's even free with your service.
The future of AI is crazy. It's going to be from when that phone call comes in, then that's going to trigger the insurance AI that's going to verify the insurance, which is going to trigger the schedule AI, which is going to give them the best schedule that's in your, which is going to trigger the doctors and the scribes. And like all of these things are all going to work together. The human in the loop kind of interaction with it. We're not just giving it over. And that's actually a disclaimer I want to throw in there. There's a future with AI in our practices, but I wouldn't hand everything over to AI at this point.
Welcome back to another episode of Dental Marketing Theory. I'm your host, Gary Bird. I'm the owner of SMC National, where we help offices just like yours level the playing field against the big guys out there so you can grow the way that you want. But if you're not embracing AI, is your team going to have the bandwidth to be able to answer their phones and do other tasks in the office? Today, I have Laura Nelson, who's the VP of AI and Training and Development from Mango Voice. And we're going to dive deep into the 5 pitfalls that offices are facing and how AI is going to fix those. We got a free resource right down below for you if you want to check that out. Very, very useful stuff. And she dives into all the problems that AI is fixing now and what they're going to be fixing in the near future. This is an episode that you have to listen to because you need to reduce the workload for your office, and AI is the answer to do that. Stay tuned. All right, we are live for another episode, and today is going to be a good one because I have Laura here. She is from Mango now, and I am so excited. Kevin, actually, we were DMing and we were going back and forth, and he's like, you just need to talk to Laura, get her on a podcast, and you guys would have a great conversation. And before we go any further, I said, I need something really good to give to our audience. And you put together the 5 costly practice pitfalls. That on its own, but then, and how to fix them with AI. So that's, as I read the headlines, I was like, okay, this is okay. And then I started reading the solutions. I was like, this is so good. So we're at the point with AI now where it is solving problems, it is moving faster, and it's cheaper, right? Like before it was like, pay this fee, pay all this money, but now it's like, no, this is an add-on service, 99 bucks, or it's even free with your service. So that's so cool. And I want to go through a couple of these pitfalls. If you guys want this list and you want these answers, it's down below so you guys can grab it. But Laura, let's jump into pitfall number 1, missed calls. This is such a big problem. How does AI help fix this? I'll set the stage. We track this. I know you guys track this too. We're looking at 30 to 35% of calls are missed during normal business hours. We're not talking after hours, just during when you're open. First of all, let's talk a little bit about the problem and then how does AI help fix it? Hey, sorry for interrupting the show, but I got something important for you. In this show, we're talking a lot about AI, and we just launched something amazing that we have a beta test if you want to try it out at your practice. Right down below, there's a link for $299 a month. You can never miss a call again and have AI receptionists scheduling directly to your schedule, and it converts better than most humans. Go ahead and check it out. The link's right down below. We're just launching it for a couple practices. We use it for our clients as well. And I hope to hear from you soon. Would love your feedback. Now, back to the show.
I'm so excited about it. In fact, this is one of the reasons that I took this role with Mango Voice, because I've been teaching phone skills for 20 plus years, how to handle the phones. But the front desk the team is busy. We have like a million things going on. And so many times they don't even realize they're missing calls until you actually go check the call logs. And so what this AI can do for us, which we never had before, is when I used to teach team members, how do you not miss calls? How do you handle 6 things at once? It sounds good in theory, but it's a lot. But where we can use AI now is, for example, at Mango Voice, we have Margot, and she handles all of our overflow calls. So it's an AI agent that's trained by me on how to handle patient interactions the way we would want to be handled, have them handled, so that if I can't get to the phone call, it is addressed and not that they're not going to voicemail. We get an interaction with the patient. The patients are speaking to Margot. Actually, we're having double the patients actually speaking to Margot that left voicemails before. So we're really capturing that conversation to get what the patient's calling for. So it basically is like cloning me, is what I'm thinking. It's just a matter of having somebody address the patient calls. Because the last thing I want to hear is, if you've reached us during business hours, your call's important to us. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not.
Yeah, so that's so interesting because I always tell people the front desk is that one position where you hire the least experienced person. They're usually the youngest, they're usually the lowest paid, and they're probably they're kind of the junk drawer. They're kind of doing everything that that the office needs, and not a junk drawer and like they're not important, but junk drawer that they're doing like everything. You got the can opener, you got the knife, you got the fork, you got all the stuff in there, the hammer, the screwdriver. So they're doing so many things. They're checking patients in, they're checking patients out. And if they're good, this is the one thing I've noticed about it. If they're good at the front desk, you immediately move them to another position and hire another young person with no experience, right? So it's like, it's such a big problem and it's not easy to solve.
I would add to that, many times offices will try out the new person on the phones. Like, but without good training, they'll be like, let's just see how they do on the phones. Well, I think the phone is the most important piece of technology in your dental office. I'm paying for the phone to ring. I don't want to test somebody out on it. I want consistent ways the phone answered. And the one thing with AI is once you teach it right once, it's consistently going to do the same thing over and over again. Is this new employee who, shows up tired or with an attitude or whatever.
And it can handle 10 calls, like 10, if 10 people call the office at once, which is not possible for your team to answer that, right? You don't have 10 people working in your office maybe. So 10 calls come in at once. Some of those are going to go to voicemail. Now they're getting a text. And then the text is having a conversation, right? I haven't played with your guys' AI. Is it?
That big depends on the integration. So it's kind of the one thing about AI is there's, like you started this with, there's stuff that's being solved right now with AI and there's stuff that's coming. So right now, AI is a really good receptionist. AI is a really good fill in the gap when we're missing the calls. It can trigger a text or a scheduling link depending on who you're using for patient engagement. But where it's going is huge. I mean, it's going to be the part where it's the first call, the first person to handle the call, or the first thing to handle the call. It'll send us just the revenue generating calls, the humans. It'll handle all the extra stuff. So we won't really have overflow calls anymore because we'll only be handling the important calls. So it's moving. And I also like what you said earlier too, and it's moving fast. This isn't like one day we'll get to this.
It's like later next year, this year. Yeah,
it's later, like next month things are progressing so fast. So bracing AI now is important.
I want to just dive a little bit into this. So like I understand it because I haven't got to play with it. So I'm a new patient. I called Dr. Laura's office. For whatever reason, your team can't answer. What do I get at that point? I'm getting a text.
Yeah, you get a phone call. I mean, you get somebody answering the phone. Basically, Margot answers the phone, and Margot gets all the information from you of why you're calling, if it's an emergency, where it hurts, if you're a new patient, what's your insurance, and then that gets sent to the office with all the information. So it's not just leaving a voicemail; it's actually getting the information that we need from the patient. And then we are integrating with partners. So like if you work with a patient engagement software, it'll trigger, here's the scheduling link.
Got it. Okay.
And there's a lot more coming. It's just all of it's big.
Because the very near future is text message. All patients are coming through like a text message AI bot, but it feels like a human. And it's having a conversation. It's like, oh, we need to work on our billing. Okay, here, go to this page.
The future of AI is crazy. It's going to be from when that phone call comes in, then that's going to trigger the insurance AI that's going to verify the insurance, which is going to trigger the schedule AI, which is going to give them the best schedule which is going to trigger the doctors and the scribes. And like all of these things are all going to work together. So, which means we have more time to do stuff with our patients, which is what we should be doing.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I always tell people because I'm in marketing, right? So I do marketing and everybody's like, is AI going to take our job? And it's like, not yet. But I will tell you this. People who use AI are the only people who are going to be working in marketing. There's not going to be, just like computers. Remember when computers came out? I remember, and it was like, people were like, well, I don't want to use a computer for, blueprinting and stuff like that. And they kind of just phase themselves out of a job. And I feel AI is going to be the same way. And that kind of goes into pitfall number 2 is slow or manual follow-up. So you have, and I feel like doctors don't really know how big of a problem this is, because if you miss a call and you try to follow up, or if you just wait too long to do other things, like you lose the opportunity. So how does AI fix that?
So there's one thing that I would suggest for all doctors listening to this is starting to embrace bringing AI into your practice and working with companies, like Mango Voice or other ones that have AI, but also just working with AI in general. So many times we avoid things that we don't want to do. So we don't want to deal with the patient who has the balance, who has a big, issue about it all the time, or we've got so many things to do that we never get to the things we don't like to do. But you can actually lean into AI at ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude right now, and start to help generate easier ways to handle tasks for your team so we don't miss follow-up. So how do I write that email to the patient who always has a problem with her $5 bill? How do I tell the patients that we're about to drop their insurance, but we don't want to lose them? So using AI internally within your team and embracing it with your team, and then instructing your team on how to use it so that we're not missing the follow-up. Things like the balance of a patient. A lot of times, trying to balance an account is awful, right? So now how can we use AI so that we don't delay on these follow-ups? Because our patients are expecting faster answers now, and we can't do it the old school way.
Totally agree. So one thing that I feel like it requires a little bit of humbleness to be able to do this, because as a leader, we're so used to having all the answers, right? Like people come to you, it's called Superman or superhero syndrome, where you actually kind of like everybody coming to you because they rely on you and you're able to get a quick dopamine hit and you're able to solve their problem, but you actually become the bottleneck and it really begins to slow you down. And what solves that, like I'll give a perfect example in our company. We have all this marketing data, all this new patient data, all this internal, revenue, all these things, right? But it's overwhelming. Like when you look at it, it's like you could go 100 different directions. And so one of the things that we've started to do before, a lot of times the complicated ones would come to me. Now what we're doing is we're screenshotting all the data, no private information, no patient information in there, but just like the high level data. And then we're putting it into ChatGPT with these very long, elaborate prompts that ChatGPT helped us build. And by us asking it questions and saying, okay, how do I do this? And then it boils it down to like two or three directions that you can go. And what used to take an hour or two of my time, or 3 hours or 4 hours of the team's time spinning their wheels and ending up in the wrong place, now they're instantly getting the right answer. But you have to kind of be humble in the fact that I'm not the smartest person in the room. I don't have all the answers as the leader, but this machine potentially does. My job is just to make sure it doesn't go off the tracks.
Exactly, which is the human in the loop kind of interaction with it. We're not just giving it over. And that's actually a disclaimer I want to throw in there. There's a future with AI in our practices, but I wouldn't hand everything over to AI at this point. There's a lot of times there's companies out there who say that they can answer the phone, schedule your patients, do the insurance. Well, those are the three most important things we do in the front desk: the insurance, the phones, and the schedule. I wouldn't hire 3 new employees and put them on at once and go, you can just do this. And so the same with AI. I'd pick one area where you're dropping the ball. Phones is a good example. We are missing 30 to 40% of our phone calls. We no longer have to do that because we can allow AI to help with the phones. But then we've got to learn to work with AI. We've got to teach it a little bit. Sometimes it doesn't handle a call exactly like we want. So just like a new employee, we got to teach it how to handle that call. So get it to the point where it's a trusted part of your team before you go embrace the next thing. I wouldn't do everything at once.
I love that. And it's very smart because AI got a little bit over its skis with dentists. And I actually had a conversation with Kevin about this. We started, and I posted about it. And this is how the conversation, how we were talking here today was, I was like, I've tracked these AI companies, and a lot of these are like AI bros that are not from dental, which is awesome. We need outside people coming in and building things, which is cool, but they don't understand dental phones like you do, right? And so they're coming in, they're fixing things, and then we were measuring them, and I'm like, oh, they're worse than the bad front desk people in the office. You're converting new patients at 30%. That's horrible. The average dental person converts at 50%. So you didn't actually solve a problem. You actually made it worse. And so if you're not careful, and that's why you guys went about solving it the way that you do now. Now, I think in the future, it'll be better than the humans.
So that's one of the reasons when I came on with Mango, all these companies are like, we can do this, we can do that, we can do that. And I'm like, pause, wait, hold on. And I actually just talked to a dentist last week. I was at a conference and he worked with one of those companies outside of dental. I don't know which one, but they didn't have a dental person on their team. And they scheduled a patient over the weekend to come in Monday at 9 o'clock. And the patient asked if I could bring my daughter or whatever. So the AI said, yeah, go ahead, bring your daughter. So the doctor walked in Monday at 9 o'clock with his existing patient that had paid money to be there. And then 2 new patients just walking in the door because AI said, sure, come in. And he's like, AI sucks. AI is no good. They need people who understand dental. I'm like, it's not AI. It's that the people who are building this don't understand the workflow of the front office.
Yeah, it's the nuances, right? It's the nuances of dental. It's so nuanced. It's not simple. It's not like a SaaS product. And just for the world out there, a SaaS product, software as a service, it's just like drive all these people in, get them onto a sales call, show them a demo. If 20% of them, 30% of them don't fit the demographic, it's fine. We'll weed through those. Dental offices can't have 30% of your new patients showing up for implants and you don't do implants.
Well, and that's where, talking about the future, there's a future where it will do the schedule. AI will do the schedule, because if you look at it, there's a framework to our schedule, and we have certain places we want to put patients and appointments. But if you actually think about every individual dental office out there, the nuances are so specific to this dentist likes these procedures on this day, and this is when we have an extra hygienist, and this is. So AI will get there, but I wouldn't let AI run my schedule right now in my dental office, because the schedule is the backbone to our everything, right? And so until it's ready, you can have AI help, but I'm not going to hand it over because it's not in the spot to do that yet.
Yeah. What do you think like the next big thing in AI is going to be? Like, what is when somebody listens to this in 2026, and they come across this, what is the next big thing in AI?
Well, for what I'm hoping for, my first thing is that the receptionist, that we actually have AI answering the phones first, and that our AI can trigger other AIs to do some of the things, like go ahead and verify the insurance, go ahead and, put the patient into the schedule. I do believe that the next thing is going to be actually training the team on how to embrace AI into the systems, because I do think, like we started with, a lot of our team members are going to push back. And it's not because they don't want help with their job, but we've always been addicted to running behind. We've always been addicted to being busy. Everyone's really busy. So if I'm not busy, what am I? And so what we have to do is we really have to start embracing our team and showing them that busy doesn't mean effective. What we need to be doing is patient-facing stuff and running our systems. And so I think there's going to be a transition of like leaning back into the humans, honestly, to say, okay, now you've got this clone AI tool that can do all of the busy work, but what does that mean for you?
No, but it's the truth, because what's going to happen is that's going to happen with everybody, because they're already talking about, okay, in 10 years when because robots are the next thing for AI. Once AI works properly, then you put it in a robot and it's going to fold your laundry, in which I'm like, okay, I'm buying 2 of those, right? And then it's like, it's going to clean your dishes, and it's going to clean the outside of your house, and it's going to do all of these things. And then it's like, well, it's going to build our cars. It's going to do, drop off you don't need Uber drivers anymore. You don't need truck drivers anymore. You don't need any of these like kind of jobs. So, but then what are we going to do? Right. And it's like, it'll be deflationary, but that's also going to cause a crisis of, well, then who am I and what am I going to do with my time? And which can it can either be the best thing in the world for you, or it can be absolutely disastrous and ruin humans. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting that it's the same problem inside a dental office.
Yeah. And that's really where, when I started playing with AI like 2 years ago, I got so efficient that I got busier. I was, and then I'm like, wait, this isn't what this was supposed to do. And so I've really had to, and I think we're all going to get like that. We're all just going to be so efficient. But it's like, but then we're not supposed to do twice as much work. We're supposed to let the busy work go to AI, teach AI how to do it, and then use it to make a better version of you and your life and your role and your position in your dental practice.
Yeah. Yep. That's so good. If someone wants to reach out to you, we didn't get to go over all of those. So if you want the other 3, they're really good. They're down below. You guys can check those out. But if someone wants to reach out to you and learn more about Mango and what you guys are doing, what's the best way to connect with you?
Yep. You just need to follow us on social, go to our website, Mango Voice. We are here. You can connect with me through any of the social channels, and I'm here helping build the AI to make sure it actually handles the problems that we need handled on the phones in our dental offices. So Mango Voice.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on, Laura. You did a great job. Really, really excited for what you guys are building, and can't wait to see what it turns into.
Me too. Thank you.